Welcome to Manifest Podcast. This is week 3 in a 12-week series where we are looking at abundance, applying metaphysical principles to our lives so that we can really have an abundant and prosperous life. This week, we are looking at breaking free on your past constraints, really what gets in the way from us truly fulfilling on what we want. So this is a juicy topic today. Stay tuned because we're really going to be doing the work. And just by downloading this, listening to this over and over, you can actually start to have it apply into your life. So let's get started. So I want to first start with a visual. So imagine yourself, there you are, and let's put a bubble around you. Okay. So here you are, you got a bubble around you. Now, inside that bubble is everything that has happened to you in your life. So let's go back. Let's fill this bubble with, I don't know, all the things that happened in childhood, things people said, things people did or didn't do, the job you had, the boss you had, the teacher you had, friends you had or didn't have, the clothes you wore, the music you listened to, parents you had. I could go on and on and on. We just fill it with all of your life. And as we started to go about life, we really started to try and navigate this thing called life. We made choices and decisions. We were trying to figure out things, trying to figure out humans, trying to figure out, I don't know, schooling and life and work. And as we start to make decisions and we start to see patterns, we begin to make not even choices, but decisions on how life is. So all of that is inside our bubble. But here's the thing. You have your bubble full of all of your experiences, but look around you. Everyone around us has their own bubble, and inside their bubble is all of their life choices and all their life concerns and everything that's happened to them. Is their bubble the same as yours? Nope. So here we are going around life with these bubbles, and we're all just trying to figure this out. Now, over there, they might have had experiences that are pretty unique, and they might offer you advice, which is great. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But why I'm saying all this is because really the power that we can get from our lives is seeing that we see our life through the lens of this bubble. And more so, with grace and ease, it really is automatic. We are human beings. We have minds that are brains that are working so quickly. We are making split decisions based on past. It's like going in a computer and quickly discerning, do we like this person? Are they nice? Do we trust them? What's going on here? Why do we want? Do we want this? Blah, 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 blah. And life is happening so fast. Now, why I'm saying all this is because this bubble is the lens that we are looking through. And when we can get that there is a lens, and I mean like a lens, like there's something in between life and us, that there is like something there. When we can start to see that there is a view or a lens or a particular way that we see life is, all of a sudden what can be open and available is, wait, what if life isn't always going to be this way? So with all this bubble that we have, if left unexamined, it's the air we breathe, it's the water we swim in. These are analogies people say, but it really is. It's just, this is life. Like, we don't even question it because, well, look, it's all around us. It's proof. But by having this really important conversation, it can help us see the constraints that we live in. Like, we are living in this bubble left unexamined. We're just going to call it life. But if we can start to see that this life that's around us was really created as a function of surviving in this world, of getting by, of trying to figure this out. And here I am on a podcast explaining to you, hold on a second, what if there's life outside this bubble? What if the bubble has been our constraint all along? Once we start to see that this bubble is great, it helps us survive, it's gotten us so far here where we are, and if left unexamined, we're going to have an ordinary life. It's going to be a great life. Like, there's nothing wrong with the bubble. But why I'm saying all this is because what's available is more than the bubble. And the moment we see that there is more than the bubble, that's when it gets juicy. That's when it gets exciting. That's when it's like, hold on a second, what do you mean? So one amazing sentence that you can begin to add to your repertoire of life is saying, not necessarily so, or maybe not, or but what if, or hold on a second, just let me take a second here. Anything to interrupt our already default way of life is always going to be a win for us. It will always provide an opportunity for us to create really an opening for something new to show up. So why does it look like we keep getting more of the same? So number one, if left unexamined, the life in the bubble we live in is really what we're creating. You know, we know the kind of bosses that are out there, so we'll probably get more of the same. We have gotten a certain amount of paychecks. We know how much money is predictable. We have a way that life just works, and it is. And so we have this already knowing that life is going to be a certain way. Now look at it like this. So this bubble that I keep talking about, that's full of everything that we've created in our life and we've experienced in our life, all of that content that we've experienced isn't actually reality right now. That is a product of the past, of everything we've looked at and experienced in life. So instead of seeing it now as a bubble, let's take that bubble and let's just call it our past. Our past is all that bubble. So let's just like pop out of the bubble and move the bubble over and call it the past. Now, if I can get myself out of that bubble, call the bubble the past, then wait, what am I if I don't have that past? Well, number one, we really can experience ourselves as anything is possible. Like if I don't have that past as part of who I am, and I don't have to actually identify with that, who then could I be? And that's the question you can ask yourself is, if I didn't have that bubble anymore, what kind of bubble would I want to have? Now, why it looks like we get constrained by the bubble is because we think that's the way life is going to be. So instead of that bubble staying in the past where it really kind of is meant to be, we automatically are putting that bubble always in our future because, well, if I look at my future and what's possible, the constraints are everything I've all experienced in my past. So I'm really taking that bubble and throwing it in my future and saying, well, this is what I'm going to get, more of this, more of that. I'll probably get the boss that I get. You know, this is how much money I possibly could make. Like really, you can start to see the constraints. You know, you have a predictable way that friends show up, a predictable way you have work go, you have a predictable way your children are, etc. You know what I mean? It's because of the constraints. So first of all, by identifying that all we've actually done is like a misfile. We've put all the past and we've kind of put it in the future by accident. So what if I could say to you, you could take that past from the future, let's just rip it out of there and just tuck it away. How do you do that? Well, first of all, the only way you do that is through our mindset. Through this conversation we're having right now. The fact that we're even talking about this is an opportunity and an access to seeing that your past does not define you. It doesn't make you who you are. All that's going on is it's just the life we predictably live. Now, how do we stop it? And how do we get something new? So how we stop it is what we're doing right now. We're interrupting the already predictable. We're saying to ourselves, hold on here, the past actually doesn't dictate my future. That's it. Just by even catching ourselves is a way to say, time out, nice try, thanks for sharing. I'm actually trying something new here. So by taking that pause and making our past stay in our past, we now have an opening for what else we want. So in the world of abundance, which is the topic of the series, the question is what do you want? And in episode 1 and episode 2, we looked at 100 things that we would like to experience. So by putting our past in the past, this is a perfect opportunity of a future that's empty, ready for us to fill it. So what are we filling it with? Go grab that list of 100 things, start putting it in there. Get what it is we want in that future thought. If we can, it's like you're driving a car. Are you looking in the rearview mirror as you're driving forward? Absolutely not. It does not work that way. You got to get rid of the past you, and you got to start focusing forward. So when you wake up in the morning, we want to train ourselves to be like, all right, where am I headed today? What future am I working towards? What am I pulling from my future to make me who I am right now? So grabbing your list of 100 things, examining it, getting into the why did I put those things on my list? Why are they important to me? Get connected to your list, get connected to why did I put that on my list? Get connected to what that will feel like when those items are actually happening. That's what we're connecting to, and how that is going to, that alone, that practice of saying what it is we want our future to be, connecting to the feeling and experience of it happening for us, getting connected to that feeling right now, not later tonight when you go and grab your list. Like I'm talking now. I'm talking have it stickers around your house. I'm talking have a vision board, like create an environment where your future is so juicy and exciting that you can't help but have it come to you. You want it so alive and real that it wakes you up in the morning and has you remember that you are an infinite vessel, pure potential, where you get to say how you show up. We have the ability on a dime to choose thriving over surviving. It just takes that interruption and that reminder that anything truly is possible. If you're caught up in the yeah buts and well, I'm not sure, we'll go back to the belief system, episode 1 and 2, because it's really the limiting beliefs that are holding us hostage, so to speak. So by being able to pull that past and get it put back in the past, reminding ourselves that we are absolutely have infinite potential. And if we are not able to get that experience and that connection right away, just through listening to this, getting a vision board, writing it out, like if it still feels not possible and like almost, what I would request is the possible examination of a co-creation conversation. So in this metaphysical realm, when we are applying metaphysics to our life, we often forget that it's not just us doing this. This process is a divine process. This process is a way to connect to a part of us that is interconnected with not only our environment and our family and our friends and our community and the world. There's a non-physical energetic presence that is absolutely available. Intuition, connection, miracles, synchronicity, like there is energy around us pulling for us to really have the life we want. And it is listening ongoingly to what it is we're manifesting. It is co-creating this with us. The universe has your back. And when we can connect to that experience, that there is a part of us that is so infinitely powerful, and it is powerful because we're co-creating. If we can start to build that connection to source, we know we are not doing this alone. So if you're feeling like that something's missing and it just is, you're jarring, sinking into the experience that you are loved, valued, honored. There's no such thing as being worthy. You have just by the experience of you being alive, allows you the right to this whole entire process. So if you're feeling alone and not sure, can you take time to just connect to that inner strength? And if you're not even sure how to connect there, then my request is that if you can push all your past aside and you're left with this empty space of what you want to experience in your future, what I would request that you put in there is connection to source, is feeling confident, feeling alive, feeling like trust and faith, like adding that experience of actually requesting that experience to come to you, allowing the world of miracles to wash over you, will start to build that inner connection I'm talking about. So there are many, many places we all can be in this realm of creating an abundant future. If you know you're someone who can create, you are totally seeing synchronicities, you love intuition, you feel it, you get the vibe of like, oh, I'm in the right place at the right time, or ooh, something's not off now. Like if you already are hooked in that space, you're going to be in a different experience with this podcast than someone who's just learning, just checking things out and finding their way. So this podcast is for so many types of people, but wherever you are, you get to say who you get to be in this moment. So what are you creating? Who do you get to be, so that you can start to see the life that you want to have fulfilled in 3D? Who gets to be that person? And you start to be that now, and you watch how things will start to shift. Have a great week.